Take a look at this map. Situated between Europe and Asia, the Caspian is the largest inland body of water on Earth. The water boundaries are aggressively shrinking inward. This is the physical erasure of a massive natural planetary boundary. As a geographical feature of this magnitude vanishes, it creates a massive, highly contested void in the heart of the region. Here you can see the 5 distinct nations locking into place along the shoreline: Russia, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Iran, and Azerbaijan. All 5 of these countries rely entirely on the Caspian for their regional trade networks, their naval defense, and domestic economic stability. We can see the immediate toll in this image. These massive industrial shipping cranes are now sitting virtually useless along the shallow, sandy shoreline, stranded entirely away from the deep-water shipping lanes they were built to service. The rapid withdrawal of the water is forcing these competing nations into a real-time conflict over where their sovereign borders actually lie. The mechanical cause of this crisis comes down to the sea's unique geography. The Caspian is an endorheic basin, meaning it is a closed system. Water flows in, but there are no rivers leading out to the ocean. The only way water leaves is by evaporating into the air. This map traces the sprawling Volga River network flowing south through Russia. This single river acts as the Caspian's lifeline, supplying roughly 80% of its total water inflow. But look at the massive infrastructure in this photo. Russian industrial damming and heavy agricultural diversions along the Volga actively restrict the river's natural flow, choking off the sea's primary water supply. At the exact same time, extreme temperature spikes across the region are causing the water left inside the basin to evaporate significantly faster than historical averages. Human engineering restricted the water coming in, while a warming climate accelerated the water going out. The Caspian is trapped in an irreversible cycle of decline. This image reveals the economic motivation hiding beneath the surface. This vast network of offshore platforms is extracting from one of the world's largest untapped reserves of oil and natural gas. Because the Caspian is a closed body of water, international maritime law categorizes it differently than an open ocean. That makes historical territorial claims highly ambiguous. Notice how the shoreline moves on this tactical map. As the water recedes, nations legally push their maritime borders further outward into the newly exposed seabed. Those expanding borders are now on a direct collision course, intersecting right over the most lucrative, unmined energy sectors. The ecological collapse of the sea guarantees aggressive conflict over the resource-rich land it leaves behind. You can see the immediate reality of that exposed land right here. This rusted boat hull sits stranded completely on a vast dry plain, miles away from the historical port it used to dock in. The newly exposed land is a harsh salt flat, heavily contaminated by decades of industrial and agricultural runoffs. Losing the water also removes the region's natural temperature regulator, exposing the surrounding areas to harsher, deadlier summer heat. The retreating sea abandons a poisoned wasteland that ruins local farming and accelerates the climate decay. Without the weight of the water to hold it down, high winds sweep across the cracked desert floor, lifting the contaminated salt into the atmosphere. Look at the sheer scale of the dust storm. In this photo, the toxic cloud completely dwarfs the city infrastructure as it rolls over nearby population centers and agricultural zones. This map models the inevitable human cost. As the air becomes unbreathable and local economies fail, millions of coastal residents will be forced into permanent evacuation, spreading out toward Europe, the Middle East, and deeper into Asia. The death of the Caspian Sea serves as a geopolitical detonator, physically displacing millions and forcing a realignment of power across the heart of the continent.